Prime Minister Pankam Vipawan on June 6 signed a decision appointing the 8-member task force aiming to address the fuel crisis, the spiraling price of consumer goods, and dwindling foreign currency reserves. The government has formed a new task force as of June 6. Prime Minister Pankam Vipawan signed a decision appointing the 8-member task force, which is chaired by the Deputy Prime Minister in charge of Economic Affairs, Dr. Sonsai Sipandon. Minister of Finance Bunchom Ubun Pasert is vice chairman, while senior representatives of key ministries and sectors make up the rest of the task force. The move comes as Laos battles a damaging fuel shortage in the wake of the depreciation of the kyat. The unfavorable exchange rates between the kyat and the US dollar and Thai baht has meant that importers are unable to purchase adequate amounts of the foreign currencies needed to buy sufficient quantities of fuels, whose price on the global market continues to rise. The kyat has suffered its biggest loss in value against the baht and dollar since the Asian financial crisis in 1997-1998. The kyat has plunged to its lowest value in decades due to a supply-demand mismatch. BCEL exchange rates on Tuesday: $1 US bought 14,290 kyat and sold for 14,322 kyat, with 1 baht buying 495.24 kyat and selling for 498.97 kyat. For weeks, motorists in Laos have been forced to queue up in long lines to get small quantities of fuel at petrol stations, which tends to remain open for short periods of time because supplies soon run dry. It has been stated that the Russian-Ukraine conflict has resulted in a volatile global fuel market, which has heightened geopolitical uncertainty and affected the price of consumer goods in Laos, exacerbated by the continuing COVID pandemic. The price of fuel surged by 11.4% month-on-month, with regular grade petrol rising by 5.1% and diesel by 15.7% and 86.3% year-on-year, regular grade petrol rising 72% and diesel 96.6%. Rising oil prices and the continuing depreciation of the kyat has driven up the rate of inflation, with Laos now posting one of the highest inflation rates in Southeast Asia. The year-on-year inflation rate surged to 9.9% in April, the highest figure recorded since January 2016, according to the Laos Statistics Bureau. The Consumer Prices Index also jumped at its fastest pace in recent months, putting a further squeeze on consumers who are having to pay more for food, fuel, and other essentials. The newly appointed task force is mandated to advise measures to ensure adequate amount of fuel can be imported. The task force has also been entrusted to formulate measures to stabilize the supply of foreign currency while also managing exchange rates and exchange shops to ensure their operations are in accordance with the regulations. The task force was told to investigate and enforce the penalties imposed on individuals breaking the law, undermining social order, and damaging national finances and the economy. The government instructed the task force to draw up measures to regulate the price of goods and also define strategic goods.